This is Pitch Please, the show where people who play games pitch ideas to people who make them. This week...
I want to shove Switch games up every hole and gain their powers. Look at me, I'm Yoshi's Woolen World now.
Welcome to Pitch Please. My name's Alex. I'm joined by developer Chris from Foggybox.
Hello.
Developer James from Catastrophic Overload.
Hello.
And Thomas the Ideas Engine.
Hello.
Beep, beep.
Just speedy intros this time.
You don't have to base your intro off whatever I do, because I just panic most of the time.
You panic and just say hello as fast as you can.
Yeah.
That's good.
In my head, it's like,
we got through it.
Say something funny, and it just comes out, hello.
Do you want us to give you some time?
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, sure. I'll come back to you. I'll do the intro at the end as well.
Cheers.
Okay.
Have a think. Look, if you've not listened to us before, the way this works is one of us is going to pitch an idea for a game. Usually it's Tom. When he's dry, it's me. Or when we're really dry, it's listeners. And then we're going to spend the rest of the show trying to make it work. I want to address a couple. We have had ideas, pictures come through. Some of them have been really, really cool. Whether or not we use them, like we can't use every one, but please keep sending them in because they're great. And sometimes it helps us come up with ideas. Sometimes they're good enough that we can just use the whole episode.
We steal them and take them as our own.
Sometimes we'll just take them ourselves.
You can pitch us ideas I'm going to do this at the top of the show this time.
What
Tom,
the
where can they pitch us ideas? I know.
You can send your ideas into @pitchpleasepod on Twitter, pitchpleasepod without any vowels, or you can email us at pitchpleasepod@yogscast.com with every vowel.
I know.
And you can send us your big old ideas. If your idea is more than 240 characters, is that what it is now on Twitter? Then Then send us an email or send us a voice recording or just a video of your gaping anus.
Oh my God.
Yes, please. Yeah, that one.
Ah.
Do you want to cut in pitch hole?
This is a family-friendly fucking podcast, Tom.
The email gets vetted by our producer, so they'll have to see it first.
Yeah,
so
we won't ever see it.
That's not going to reach to us. Send whatever you want through. It's totally
Unless
fine.
he sends one through, I was like, this is a good one.
What's our producer called?
Sam. Hi, Sam. If you're listening to this,
sorry.
Just I hope you enjoy those anuses.
Don't open any emails with attachments.
If you are sending us a voice message, could you please send us a voice message while you're doing things like examples of things that you could be doing while you're sending a voice messages? Sitting down.
What is this?
In a quiet area.
Did someone send you one while they were masturbating?
What example of something that
hasn't said no.
Maybe you shouldn't send us is maybe just when you're exercising, when you're going out for a run.
Okay.
So we got one in. It's from Hugo. Thank you so much for your idea. I don't know why you decided to record while you were on a run, because we can't really understand it because you keep getting out of breath. I would love to hear your idea,
Alex. Sometimes the blood is flowing, the heart's pumping, the ideas they pop into your head.
The cars
and you
are
need to
driving
record,
by,
like a 5-minute voice memo and send it to someone on the internet.
Sometimes inspiration strikes when you're in the middle of a wind farm.
Yeah, you're right.
I have to record this right
are
now.
there examples of good ideas?
Hey, pitch, please.
Or you trying your hair?
Headphone users.
This isn't going in. It's fine. There's no way this is making the final cut.
If Alex is editing this, it's going in.
Yeah, I'm editing it. We'll see. We'll see about that. I just want to flag up and say thanks to a couple of people who sent them through. Right? Okay, we had one earlier. Severi Vidnas.
Right.
Sent in and said at Pitch Please Pod. Sorry, at Pitch Please Pod.
Yeah.
Hunting simulation game, but instead of fauna, players hunt supernatural monsters. Sorry, instead of fauna, players hunt
I was going to say, what's a fauna
monsters.
player?
Players need to figure out what type of monster they're facing and use equipment and methods based on the information to bring down said monster. All this time, the monster can hunt players. So is that Phasmophobia? That's how I read it in my head.
It's Hunt Showdown. Is what that is.
Is it Hunt Showdown?
I think that's a very similar thing. Wild West kind of battle royale Tarkov-y style game where, there's legendary monsters dotted around the map and you have to. Well, it's less about identifying them, more about just finding where they are.
That's the Phasmo aspect.
Yeah. I guess I feel like I played The Witcher a lot like this, and I feel like The Witcher sort of lends itself to this idea quite well, where it's got the monsterography, and anytime someone comes up to you and talks to you is like, oh, I got attacked by really long claws. Also, they smelled like sulfur. Then you can go through your monster book and find out exactly what it is.
That's
and even before
sulfur
Geralt
claw.
says, you can then, you in your mind are like yelling at the screen, it's a higgledy-piggledy. You're going to be having to deal with a higgledy-piggledy again.
They're the worst.
Or whatever higgledy-piggledy is in Polish.
So Witcher 3 is original Phasmophobia. Confirmed,
Yes. Yeah, which I think it was directly inspired by The Witcher.
You can see the references and the influences.
It's all over. It's all over.
All right. Look, I've been stalling because I'm going to lay it on the table with you guys. I don't have any ideas. I've got nothing. Tom, I don't have anything.
Well, you're in luck.
Am I?
I got something.
Oh.
And by that, I mean, I opened up a different special pocket in that mailbag you didn't look in. Because we have
the secret, the good pocket.
The good
pocket.
With
the anal videos in.
Yeah. Luckily,
it was a ghosty video, but at the end, he pulled out a piece of paper with like a note.
It was kind of like that Daft Punk video where around the world, but with their hands, except they pulled open a different part of their anus to reveal the next part of the pitch.
Jesus.
Anyway, thanks for sending this in.
Well, good luck to Nina doing this thumbnail.
So, I don't know how inappropriate it is to say thank you, David Wayne Nystrom, for pulling open your anus. But you've sent in an idea.
Shut out an idea.
And I don't think this episode is going out.
What has happened to us?
We have a pitch from David Wayne Nystrom, and they say,
okay.
Hello, long-time listener, first-time pitcher. At least I think it's my first time.
What?
As in first time pitching to us, or
first time
in general?
Sent us pitches in and then just like blacked it out?
Yeah. David,
okay.
You pitched an idea to us years before the end of the world, and you predicted it. You knew it was going to happen, David. It's been 15 years, David.
Wake up.
It's just us in a bunker now.
Wake up, David. Anyways, here's an idea I've had in my head for years, like since I was a kid. I don't know how old David is, so I don't know how many years this could have been.
11.
11. It's been 11 years he's had this idea. The basic premise came from playing Game Boy games. Okay,
he's
so
54.
More than 9. And looking through all my games in a box at some point. I love the idea of putting the game in, and the save file you have grants you some power. For example, you put in your Pokemon Red and infinite rare candies that you hacked. You can then level up your game character X amount of times, where X is a non-game breaking value. This does lend itself to a sort of deck building mechanic.
Here we go.
But I envision it more like a party-based RPG. So maybe each of your games is a character in your party that has its own level and stats and stuff. Items could be something like the Wormlight. Wormlight? The thing that you attach to the Game Boy, so you can see the screen.
Right.
Is that the Wormlight?
Yeah, right. Maybe.
Yeah.
I remember that with the magnifier.
That really threw me. So you can add a Wormlight to your Game Boy, and it grants accuracy buffs, but costs energy or magic, the in-game equivalency to IRL battery power. I could just make it battery. Basically, if it could be made more party-based versus deck-building. Less deck, okay, then I think this allows a more story-driven game to develop. There is a little bit more. So what do you think of that so far? The Game Boy games that you have are characters in a party, and they all have different save files that grant them different abilities.
Are you using your own games? Is it like scanners? Do you remember scanners?
Wait, what, you actually have to import your game?
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Is it like, I can...
Like Pokemon Stadium?
Is there some sort of peripheral that we have to sell with this that lets you plug any cartridge or disc in? Or memory card?
No, because I don't imagine many people still have Game Boy colors.
That's what I'm saying. When they mentioned Pokemon, it's like, yeah, okay, I've got Pokemon Blue lying around. But how does that interface with what
I
we're playing
actually
now?
do have a Pokemon Blue lying around.
So do I. That's why I said it.
Yeah.
Is it like an AR game or something? Can it scan like I don't know, physical objects and turn them into game characters. Is that
that's what scanners basically was. If you used to do it with barcodes and you generate random monsters, and some barcodes wouldn't give you anything.
I remember this.
Yeah. It was scanners with a Z. Z.
Of course.
Scanners.
Yeah, now I get it.
Because it was those types.
That's cooler.
Yeah.
Like the AR aspect could work because you could just, or maybe you get a representation of that, right? So you'd have to have a lot of different IPs working together. You scan the cover art or box of a game that you own, and then you get a creature based on that.
That seems a very big scope.
How many games do you own physically?
He's putting a face and looking around to his empty shelves.
More than
him.
20.
More than 20. I think that is actually like more than most people nowadays.
Oh, yeah. I own a couple of physical Switch games.
Right. Okay.
So, but
that's literally
do they have
it.
to be
That's literally
existing games? Like, the way I saw this
that's
when
why I
you were
don't get.
explaining it is. So like the way I saw this when you were explaining it is that they are actually just games.
They're just games within a game. I think in this guy is imagining like, they're not real games. They're just cassettes in a game that act like, in some sense, act like cards. Maybe there's something there where the game, kind of like when you open up the like Metal Gear Solid, when it's like, oh, you really like playing
Castlevania
poo-poo games. Maybe this scans your Steam library. And the bigger your Steam library, the bigger the party you have, the more playtime you have in those individual games, the better it is. However, leveling up and grinding in that version of the game involves playing other games, and I don't think anyone is going to then go back to the first one.
What if you could make it it's a little bit Metroidvania in terms that you could maybe you go into the characters from that game and you have to play levels from within that game. So you'd have to make like loads of little games that make up the larger game, and you unlock abilities with that.
Yes,
but there's certain things that are locked off until you have other abilities that you need to go back into them and still and then use. So it's kind of like a bit like Metroidvania, where you can re-go places with your new abilities to access new areas. Maybe
depending on who's in your party and what.
And then
I really like that.
But it's
version.
What happens at the surface level? Like that's fine. Okay, you click on a little 8-bit character and you're all of a sudden playing something akin to the original like Mario game. Okay, I get to the end of that level, I come out. What's the game then? If like that's what I don't get. Well, I mean, we might have to make something up.
I don't know how.
Oh shit!
I really like the idea of. It almost sounds to me like ROM hacking. It's like if you like say play levels of one game and you unlock a shotgun or something, and then you sort of hack another one of your games with that shotgun, and now you're running around in Mario with a shotgun, like, and then the Goombas are like,
okay, that's cool.
Like when Star Fox flew around in Ocarina of Time. Do you remember that?
No, but do you know what this is? This is something where you can earn something in one game and use it in another. It's like NFTs, but not for cunts.
Okay. That's not what NFT stands for.
Well, no, but like it's something.
NFTs, but NFC.
Is that the name of the game?
I didn't actually link what you were saying then.
There you go. There you go.
But like it's kind of like that concept that will never work properly because you have to get so many different games companies working together, and therefore it's completely pointless. It's kind of like that. Like, I think, if not, I've just branded a lot of people.
I feel like James has done that James thing of coming up with an idea that is going to that is the catalyst for what the game ends up being.
I worry that it's not what this guy's pitching, because he's talking about there's a game outside of this. But if we just ignore that,
well, it's up to you.
We can still.
There is more to this, by the way. Which we can get to if you want.
Well, probably.
Okay.
Well, I did say earlier that there is more.
Well, I don't know. Let's see how far we go with this. Until you're the only one. You're the only one who has seen all of this. So if at any point it looks like we're derailing so far,
that's why I'm saying it.
Okay, that's right now. Okay.
We've reached that point.
Okay, we've reached that point. Okay,
it's starting
sure.
to feel like. Did you ever play that? It's a game called There Is No Game on the Switch,
right?
And it's like you are the player talking to the game character. You're talking to the game, and then you kind of subvert the nature of the game. It's kind of what this is. You're subverting the nature of what these mini games are by breaking the code or breaking what they're supposed to be. I don't know how it relates to a wider game, but there's something cool.
I have an idea for that, but should we carry on with?
I think let's hear what
we can
so
do.
far.
Let's hear what they wanted, and then we can hear what Alex suggested and see if it crosses paths.
There is something I do like about when you were saying that Mega Man style thing where you can revisit. I know you didn't say Mega Man specifically, but Mega Man has that thing where revisiting a level with a different power up allows you to access different areas or beat different enemies or even pick up new power ups. Maybe there is something cool with, instead of individual levels, you have individual games, and when you get to a certain point in one game, you then pick up a power up that is then usable in every other game. And that allows you to progress further in other levels, which allows you to get another power up, which allows you to progress in different games, and that sort of spreads until you get to the Nexus event in the center, which is the one final game. And it's a Tamagotchi.
And you have to look after it in real time for a month.
It's Pong, but with machine guns.
But I guess, how do you then design 10 different games where picking up one power-up is then beneficial in every single version of this game?
Okay, but it doesn't have to be...
It could be double jump. That could be a power-up.
How's double jump going to help you in a text-based adventure? Which is one of the...
Okay, that's why...
What do you want to do? I want to double jump. And it's like, well, you've made it up this very high path. Okay. Does that answer your question?
But you don't need to... It's not like if you unlock a power-up in one game, it doesn't necessarily have to be... You could use them tactically. So it's like, okay, I've unlocked this power-up. I really like the idea of being able to tactically... almost equip certain power-ups in your cheat ROM or whatever it is, your ROM hacking device or whatever it is for certain games. So you can be like, yeah. And being able to do that and be like, okay, getting that. So it's almost like you're playing these little small games. And by doing that, you're solving a much larger puzzle. So say if you unlock double jump in one game, then that might kind of click somewhere in your brain where you're like, oh, fuck, I can use that now in this one other game to get past this bit. If I go back to the big bit at the beginning or something, that also makes it the ability to test stuff. What would happen if you tried to apply double jump to just a deck building, a card collecting game? What happens if you try and how does that work? What happens?
Yeah, I mean, I guess,
but it should be doable. But the result might not be what you wanted.
It's a little bit Bubba is you, I suppose.
Well,
where
it's also,
everything is possible, but why would you do that?
Yes, but it's the player expectation thing that Alchemy Labs do so well with Job Sim and Vacation Sim, where they have a waffle machine or the photocopier in Job Sim. You're like, oh, what if I put my head in there and it shoves a brain out? Or if I put my hand in there, then it creates another hand. It's that level of expectation where you're like, I mean, I have this thing and I can use it anywhere. But what would happen if I did use it in that? It has to actually do something, even if that thing is completely pointless. Your cards just start fucking jumping around the field.
Yeah.
I guess Scribble Notes as well, right?
Yeah.
Being able to just be I'm just going to type fucking anything in. What's going to happen? And most of the time they've thought of it.
You cannot double jump here, idiot.
So without
I just like that as a concept. Just unlocking cheats, and then eventually getting to the point where you're so powerful that every game just kind of merges into one mess. And it all collapses in on itself.
Your cheat, your Game Shark or whatever, is it it's limited memory? You essentially can equip abilities to transfer between different games. So you can only have so many things at one time that you're taking into a game.
I think
so. It's not like you can unlock everything all at once.
It's kind of like when you have 10 different games open at the same time, the moment you tab out of it, it pauses. You can go back to exactly where you left it. But you can also open up like a side screen that is your Game Shark, and you can tick stuff on and off as you unlock them. And then the moment you tick it in certain games, you then see the effect of it. And then you're like, oh, fuck, I'm going to turn that off. That's a nightmare. But it might solve the problem in some strange way. It's just how the fuck? How do we do that?
But it has to be, the games have to be simple. I think that's the thing. The games, the smaller games themselves can't be doing anything like especially inventive or interesting. It should be based around
with no clip.
Exactly. Yeah. Stuff like that is super basic stuff. That's like, okay, what happens?
Tetris with double jump.
Yeah. Honestly, like that stuff could be quite. And I think
actually that would work quite well.
And you can only have so many different like abilities. What like to do with memory? Like, it's just it's a memory usage thing. You can only have so many abilities checked or enabled at one time. And then it's just a case of like 10 different super basic games that are long enough and difficult enough on their own that you have to use them, like use all the puzzles together, use all the power-ups and stuff together to try and solve them all.
Yeah.
And how that, like James was saying, how that kind of works into an overworld sense, I don't know, because that is initially the interesting part of this that this guy was taught. Sorry, what was his name?
Could be
David was talking
something that related to the game that you get. So say if you did have Tetris, maybe the ability you get is that you can call in Tetris blocks to be platforms in the platformer you're playing.
Yeah.
But like when they drop down, you still have a little bit of control over them, and you're like, and then you just like you press spacebar and it freezes where it is, and you're like, okay, I'm going to turn this flat sideways, put that there, and I need to put a cube in there. But obviously, if they line up, your platform disappears.
What would that? I like that. What are some of the other mini games? Like, I mean, sort of a racer comes to mind, like Micro Machines or something.
Ridge Racer. It's I mean, how long do you think they still have the copyright on all these like really old games, like Amiga games? Do you think we could just steal them all?
Amiga games.
Yeah. Well, we can Lotus Turbo Challenge.
We could take Winnie the Pooh. That's now public domain. We just can't have him with a red shirt on.
Oh,
really?
The character Winnie the Pooh. Well, they're making a Winnie the Pooh horror film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
why can't you have a red shirt?
Because Disney owns that version.
Right.
Okay.
Red shirt, fine. No trousers.
Fine. Sure. Fine. So
anyway, we could do that with Amiga games if their copyright is maybe they own a specific.
There are tons of great like old Amiga games or Spectrum, NES, whatever games that are just like super solid gameplay, very basic concept by like today's standards.
I want to play Lotus Turbo Challenge with double jump. I want to play Glob Duel with double jump. Oh wait, it had double jump. That game was incredible, by the way. I want to play Tetris with double jump. I want to play Pong, but with double jump. I want to play Road Rash, whatever that is.
Is it going to have double jump?
Carpocalypse Now, was that one of them? No, what was that game called?
Oh, I know exactly which one you mean. I don't think it was. I think that was the subtitle for the second Carmageddon Carpocalypse Now. God, that was so
Carpocalypse,
good.
Carmageddon. No,
there's too many car puns in one title. And it's the same joke twice.
Yeah,
it's almost like you made it, Chris.
Yeah, Carmageddon. That's 100% a Pitch Please game. Man, if we existed back then, oh, God, we would have been rich.
Nailing it.
Anyway.
But we would be like 50 now, and this would be a very sad podcast of just 50-year-olds. I remember when Pong had double jump.
Anyway, let's go back. We need to go backwards. Backwards to David's pitch.
Go back, Kate.
Which again, just because it's been a while, it's using powers from your hacked Game Boy games to grant yourself powers in a party-based RPG. Which brings me to my next part of this idea. I love a good and classic story. The scenario would be that somehow your Game Boy or generic non-licensed portable gaming device has become enchanted. Gamelad. Has become enchanted in that it brings your games to life to battle some great evil in the world. You and your party members must stop the evil. Perhaps you discover in the end that the evil exists because of your magic Game Boy, and you have to destroy all of your games and the Game Boy, a la Final Fantasy X. Did that happen in
Yeah, you know, that
bit where Super Mario shows up. Isn't that Kingdom Hearts?
Tidus takes a sledgehammer to his Game Boy.
I'm trying to think, even it's like not the literal Tidus and Yuna fighting an actual Game Boy. I'm trying to think what in Final Fantasy X.
Yeah. He means it biblically. It's not meant to be taken literally, right?
Is this Kingdom Hearts?
Square Enix, in it. I can see the confusion.
Well, multiple IPs, you go into their world, you come out, and you normally have one of their characters with you, and it's turn-based fighting.
Kingdom Hearts isn't turn-based.
Yeah, isn't it?
No, it's real time, but you can use skill, kind of like Final Fantasy VII Remake.
It used to be turn-based.
No, you're a dingus and an idiot.
I have no idea what I'm thinking of.
No, well, I mean, the story's
I thought it was
right.
the same as Final Fantasy.
No, you can like just attack as normal, and then there is a menu at the side where you can attack spells and stuff like that. But you're basically just spamming the X button to attack in real time because you can jump around and stuff. Remember?
Yeah, but I thought that was in between.
Nah, well, I mean, it's not. You're wrong. And an idiot.
I mean, that's fine. I'll happily.
You dingus.
I'll be wrong and an idiot.
This could also play into how you get new party members or other games. You can either buy games from a store or inherit older games with pre-built stats. Perhaps in the story you trade with a friend to get some super-powered game that fits a slot in your party that you need. If you start with a new character, you could grind out levels on it just like any RPG. Perhaps you could play a demo of games to gain extra levels. Sort of a game within the game thing. This gets back to the mechanics aspect, which isn't my forte. Visually, it could be anything. I like the idea of it having a Game Boy 2D aesthetic, but it could be anything from simple pixels to next-gen HD that brings classic characters into the new world. So, in summary, Game Boy games come to life through Magic Game Boy in an RPG to save the world. Do with that what you will. Keep up the fun work and cheers. Thanks, David Wayne Nystrom.
Is this
thanks, David Wayne Nystrom?
I think it's Yokai Watch.
Is this Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the movie, the new one?
Is this Ready Player One? Have you got any other multiverse?
No, I'm trying to think.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Is this Marvel? It's the Avengers.
Wait a minute. This is Capcom versus Marvel.
Marvel's Ultimate Alliance.
I thought it was Capcom versus whatever.
Whatever. There is that too.
So,
okay.
When you first read the opening half of it, I was thinking about in terms of the overworld, could it be something like maybe it is set in the 90s and it is a kid with their Game Boy or Game Lad or Game Baby or whatever it's called, and
Baby.
Game Baby.
Yeah.
Sounds weird.
Yeah.
And
Spiele Baby.
It's almost a coming of age thing, perhaps. You're learning to play all these different games, but then there's something happening in real life. Maybe the fighting in real life isn't an actual battle. Maybe it's something more story based. But I don't know. I think the idea of having to destroy your games and stuff at the end, almost feels. I don't know. I feel there's something there. There's something kind of almost coming of agey about it, or there could be something really cool. But or maybe it's.
What do you mean? Do people get to a point in their lives where they stop playing games?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Not
all
us.
Right. No, good.
It doesn't happen anymore.
Good, because I'd have literally nothing left. That would be the end. Just
big shell.
I wouldn't even have a job.
The kind of thing where
that's how it ends. I mean, that's how it ends.
That's it.
None of us would be employed.
Yeah. Sorry, there's no more episodes of Pitch, please. We are all dead.
We're all dead. Sorry, James. What were you trying to get out?
I don't even know anymore. No. Is it the kind of thing where if it was this coming of age story, I can imagine you're playing Zelda or something and you get the Master Sword, and then you just find that the Master Sword is like in your bedroom or in your locker, or like you somehow manifest. We were just talking about these items that you can use cross game. Well, is it like it's not even cross game anymore? It's just they appear in the real world. This Game Boy manifests stuff.
Yeah,
and then you can, I don't know, stab the bully with the Master Sword. I don't know where we go with that.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Where do we go with it? I mean, if it manifests,
I think. But is that
why does it always go to murder with you?
I think it's recording this podcast.
James has a darkness inside of him. I think there is something there, like really, like the idea of like maybe it's not like, you know, sentimental coming of age thing, or like I don't know how it works. Maybe it is just the Game Boy spits out loads of stuff into the real world. It's a magical Game Boy, and then you do actually have to learn these skills in, you know, quote unquote real life or the real world, the meta world, and then go and fight with your Game Boy games in your party or something. I don't know, but like
is this Digimon?
It's Digimon, yeah. It's a little Digimon. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! What's going on?
I really think there's something there. I just don't know what it is.
There's a kid. He's walking down the road playing his Game Boys. He's got his little satchel that's filled with Game Boy games. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, a storm. It starts striking everything around him. Then it
flies off into the road.
His trophy flies into the road.
Why has that come up the last like 2 weeks now?
He jumps into the road thinking that a car is not about to narrowly miss his trilby thanks to a miracle gust of wind. And suddenly, lightning strikes. It hits his Game Boy. It fuses it into the boy's chest. All that remains is a tiny cartridge slot.
Now he's the Game Boy.
He's the Game Boy. And he is able to input games into himself. I think that's what he's saying, is the games that you put into your own body.
Is this the game or is this your fantasy, Tom?
I want to shove Switch games up every hole and gain their powers. Look at me, I'm Yoshi's Woolen World now. I'm so tired,
Isn't that
guys.
It Takes Two? Oh, they made out of war.
It's unraveled.
Is this games?
Is this just every game?
Isn't that licensed IP?
Hang on a minute, this is Final Fantasy X.
Okay, so
no, he has he now needs powers to be able to progress through the world, because somehow, somewhere, there is another kid who also jumped into lightning, but he was carrying a PlayStation 5. So he's bigger and better than you in every way.
Oh, no,
and obviously he's evil.
Right, he's carrying a PSP. He can now shove UMDs up his ass.
Uh-oh, it's Engage Man, and he's super evil. But luckily, he only has one power, Prince of Persia 1.
Neo Geo boy.
And he has gone all evil, but you, Nintendo lad, or Game Baby, have the ability to infuse yourself with Mario and Zelda and all those classics, Tetris. Now you've got double jump.
And at the end of it, you wake up from the coma you were in because you were hit by a car.
And lightning at the same time.
It was all a dream.
Yeah, obviously.
But then hang on, how does that
Wait,
then,
is this Inception?
How does that link to how does that link to creating level ups or power ups in certain games and then transferring them to other games with like this magical Rob on this Game Shark or whatever it is?
It fucking doesn't.
Well, I feel like that's the exciting bit about this. Like the overworld stuff is great to have in because that was David's initial idea. And we need to find a way to bring these two things together. Or maybe we don't. Maybe we won't be able to.
All right, look. Games are characters in your party. How does that work?
Well, that's where you would have
first question.
You would have a turn-based overworld where you can swap a certain amount of characters are in your party and you can swap them out.
Mm.
And then I don't know, do you level them up? Is it like Pokemon where you level them up if they fight and the others don't? None of this EXP share bullshit.
Ooh, whoa! I don't have time to fuck around. I'm using EXP share, and you can't stop me.
No, but not mandatory EXP share, Tom. Not like these. The kids have got it easy these days.
They do.
Back in my day,
Yeah,
Tom, when we had
50 years ago.
our light worms and our magnifiers on our Game Boy Colors, and use
yeah.
street lamps to play in the car.
I completely forgotten about his attachments. Yeah,
his link cable.
Yeah.
Where does that go?
Up his arse, apparently. Yeah.
Everything. It's a clown's pocket up there.
I need to shove this game baby up my ass.
So how is this like? If you have these games in your party, how are you even like? I don't understand the fighting mechanic, like the overworld stuff. Are you fighting other games?
You're throwing cassettes at people.
Like Pokeballs. You're just hitting people with cassettes.
They don't even have powers. You're just saying, fuck off.
No, do you know like you've got those little...
throwing tapes at him.
Those little cartridge pouches that you used to carry your games around.
Breaking all your games.
You just open that up and you choose which cartridges you want in your party because you've got your little pouch of them.
Yeah.
And apparently you just lob them at people.
We could just agree that doesn't work, right? And go back to the better idea, right? I mean...
I don't remember where the good idea ended and our bad idea started.
I mean, look, so you could make that work, though. You could be like, I will play the mini games outside of a battle to level up my characters. I get that. That's fine. But like, as Alex was saying, who do you battle? What's happening in this overworld?
I think that's the issue. Is like, how does it? Because if it's just like another party game, then like an RPG party game, like then what are you doing? Like, what is the game? Is it? I feel like there needs to be some level of like the world comes alive as a result of your Magic Game Boy.
Every evil character from every game that you had in your little satchel when you got struck by lightning and hit by a car at the same time has come to life and is destroying the world.
Dr. Robotnik's there.
Yeah.
But, our non-IP version.
Other
villains are there.
Oval
Every
Boy,
villain,
not Eggman, Oval
the
Boy.
Marshmallow Man.
The shaped circle from Tetris is there. He was the villain in that.
Oh, is this Pixels?
We've made Adam Sandler is the enemy.
Oh,
Anyway, all the characters Pac-Man in your party are all the good characters from your games. And they power up over time just as they would in their individual respective games. And you have to level them up individually so that they can fight the evil. And also there's heartbreaking moments when Lonk looks at you and says, oh my God, I know him. That's Gnon from my game.
We must activate the Bifrost.
And you're like, yes. Yeah, and that's how the story is developed individually with all of the characters in your party.
Yeah, I think, jokes aside, the villains of the games escaping as well gives you a good reason to team up with the heroes of the games. And then, I don't know, roguelike?
Yes.
Make it the overworld map can be like the overworld map from the old Mario games, right? There you go. That's how it's laid out. And Tom does the soundtrack full a cappella.
Yep.
But I think that's a good. What is happening today?
It's been a long week.
It all started as the
Tuesday, but it's a long week. Okay, that feels like very classic, like a 90s adventure to me. Like the idea that like bad game characters have come alive. They're in the world. We've got to fight them.
This is
pretty cool. But I don't know. Well, they've come out of like a Magic Game Boy, and I think you can have like quite a lot of nostalgic fun there with like off-brand characters and stuff.
I think you could still keep the cross game like passing of skills and stuff, because that would be like I don't know. Let's say it was Crash.
Reason to go back.
It's like Cortex is blowing stuff up, and Crash needs a tool from a Zelda game, and then that could work quite well.
So yeah, could it be you
and they team up together?
You have to finish or make some kind of progression in a certain game to get access to that character, that hero in the real world, for them to come out of the game into the real world and help you in your party. And you have to defeat for every boss you defeat in the real world, you gain a power up for your cartridge or whatever it is, which allows you then to progress in other games.
This is Disney Infinity.
For God's sake.
Does that make sense? Does that work? And then you can like, it's almost like you're gaining a weapon or an item, but you're gaining a power up to equip into your Game Shark that you can then test in these other games. And for every game you complete, you gain access to a new hero who jumps out of the Game Boy and helps you in the real world defeat certain things, like the bosses. And the bosses could be, you don't have to have the boss of one game can only be defeated by the hero of that game. That could be the fun part of it. It depends on you having your party, like which heroes from which games like match up well.
I guess the games would always be the same. Can you find more games? But it's basically the games you had, right? And the bad guys from those games escape. And it might just be a case of you've got a limited team. Maybe you've got like 10, 12 cartridges, but they're all pretty useless. You have to play those games to sort of level those characters up, or
maybe that's how like by playing the games you level the characters up, or it could be just that like there's an overworld, like there's an overworld tactical.
This is Disney Infinity, by the way.
Wait, is it actually?
I've just looked up what happens every time you place a new thing on the little Disney Infinity stand. You get the statues. You get an item from that universe to use in game in any universe you want. And
but can you give
the bad guys
the Master Sword?
Well, I mean, but you could give Mr. Incredible Mjolnir, for instance. Like, is that level of?
Oh,
okay. So
but that's a different kind. Like, still basically the same kind of gameplay you're playing. Like, this is different games that you're playing within. So I'm very wary of Chris ever saying this is X, because every time he says it, it ends up being not. The VHS game we had last time, you were like, oh yeah, this is it. That already exists. That's that Lake game. But Lake is a game where you play as a postman just driving around delivering post, and there's a VHS store in there.
Alex, I'm here just shake things up, keep you on your toes, and just say outright lies.
I feel like there's something here, but obviously we're not going to crack it in this like short time. But the idea of playing these games and being able to transfer power-ups that you earn into a Game Shark, transposing those to other games and seeing what they do in those worlds and in those mechanics, and then having this overworld thing, like Tom was saying, with like the bosses come out of the cartridge and you have to fight them in real life. Like,
I just want to get to the end of the game with my Mario that's wearing Crash Bandicoot's shorts, holding a Master Sword in a Master Chief helmet, and he's also got wings and all of these other abilities from a million different games. He's got Sonic's shoes, and
Rayman's hair.
And note this down because this is a thumbnail. And he's also got the Infinity Gauntlet. He's got a gun from Wanted, so he can curve the bullets. It goes into movies now.
Okay. Well, I'm sure they had a movie tie-in game for Wanted, right?
Probably. And he also has I don't know, laser eyes,
xenomorph,
and a xenomorph pet. And I want to finally get to that point in the game where you have to destroy him yourself, while Only Time by Enya plays, just like in Final Fantasy X.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
I would like to retract my statement because I just read two completely conflicting sentences. One where I said Mr. Incredible could hold Mjolnir, and then the other sentence which says characters from one world cannot go into another world. So I'd like to apologise.
So is Disney Infinity Kingdom Hearts?
No, Disney Infinity is cancelled for a reason.
Oh,
so is it Lego Dimensions then? Is that the game?
It's Lego Dimensions, as it turns out.
I'm impressed with how many games we know, or games or media we know. It's also very sad that it's been attempted a lot of times and clearly hasn't worked.
Shit, is this Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Oh no, is this everything?
This is everything. Is this Raised by Wolves?
Shit, I think it might be. I think it might be Raised by Wolves 2.
I think
we should have had William Pugh come in for this one.
I mean, it sounds like he already was. I think the idea
this is
works.
Pitch. Shit.
Yeah, it is. He's running.
Pseudonym. David, we know who you are, really.
We know.
I think the idea works where you have a party and those characters are leveled up by you playing their respective games and unlocking their power-ups and tools and weapons from their games, but being able to give them to other characters. I think the experimentation thing should be let into a bit more, where maybe giving Donkey Kong, the Master Sword does something weird. But you only find that kind of stuff out if you experiment with giving different characters different items.
I think if every character has one move, basically, like one
double
signature
jump.
move, like double jump or ground slam, or every time they attack, it does a beam attack out like the Master Sword. Maybe combining things together, that experimentation works where, okay, yeah, he's only got this one move, but I'm going to give him this other character's ability, and that augments that thing to be much more powerful. Maybe that's what it is. And there it is.
I assume the bad guys are doing it as well. So, they could be
they'd have to do it.
Yeah. They do
and if it is a roguelike, you can randomize that on every run. Like, oh, look, now Darth Vader
it's a
has
story
a cousin
game
for some reason.
where he goes up at the end and destroys his Game Boy.
Yeah, to Enya.
To Enya, yeah.
Who can say where the something goes? Road. Where the day
where the cartridge goes.
Only time. Mario Chief Cloud Sephiroth, Bandicoot the Hedgehog, Thanos, my creation.
I loved you.
I always loved you. And who can say?
And it's just the sword slowly goes through their chest and just zooms in on their eyes, and they just quiver on everyone's eyes because it's all on one face.
Yeah.
And it's just Thanos'
weird
chin.
Okay, David, look, we have birthed this for you. It's now a crying baby, and we're handing it back.
Sorry.
We're turning around and handing it to you, the listeners.
Yeah,
to see what you can do with it.
I feel like we should.
We're handing you a newborn baby and saying, "Fix this."
I feel like we should hire 4 other people to make Pitch Please 2, to basically just like we do the precursor episodes, and they're like, we give them the material, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
we have to make a game out of whatever the hell this episode is. No,
or they have to figure out the original pitch idea.
They have to backtrack it.
Yeah.
They also have to listen to the episode in reverse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, look, if you can think of...
So look out for that podcast. That's
any other better ways to bring these two things together. But I think other than that, we just have I think that mechanic is something that seems pretty fresh and cool to me. Just even if we ignore everything else, and just the idea of learning one ability in one game and transferring it to a completely different style of game and experimenting and how that affects it. That is really cool. So there's definitely something here. I
believe.
I'm kind of interested to see what other people come up with. They can let us know. We've already told them, but maybe we should remind them again because I've forgotten already. I don't know where they can do it.
Oh, it's only been 3 hours, right?
Something like that.
You can let us know on Twitter at pitchpleasepod without any vowels, or via email pitchpleasepod@yogscast.com. Pitchpleasepod with all the vowels. Send us voice clips. Send us long essays. Send us Google Drive documents, or again, anus.
But not clips whilst you're running.
Yeah.
God forbid.
David,
thank you
for your idea. Hopefully we've given you some stimulation. I don't know why I said it like that.
No, God, no.
Until next time.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll see you later. Thank you for listening. Cheers. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Bye.
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 I enjoy how Enya is slowly becoming our new deck builder. It's just
Has
everything.
That come up before?
How can we fit it into
last
every
week.
Yeah, literally last episode.
What, did I?
You did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
No.
I thought you were making a callback.
Yeah, so did I.
What, really?
Was it not? Is this your
That's
favorite
got to
song
be
of all
like the
time?
third time. It's a great song, but
It's not.
I mean, it's a classic, Tom.
Did I really bring it up last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, the VH Sim.
Oh,
And I think we also sang part of it again.
okay.
You did, yeah, you did sing it.
I think we'll get the
Really?
whole song out of you at some point. We'll piece it all together.